Welcome viewers from our Nagaland Cornerstone TV studios in Kohima, Nagaland. I am Hisole. For the first time for our viewers, we are privileged and glad to present Christian news from Northeast India and around the world. We will also include stories about gospel musicians in this segment. So we are glad to have you join in for this unique Christian news and musician stories from Nagaland and Northeast India with international Christian news. So today, let's start off our news segment firstly with Christian news from Nagaland. 2 decades since the Nagaland Total Prohibition Act (NLTP Act) 1989, the Nagaland Baptist Church Council and BCC General Secretary Reverend Zalio Keyo stated that the church support for the act extended beyond theological reasons. In an exclusive interview with Nagaland Post, Keyo explained that the justification for NLTP Act lay in both ethical considerations and its impact. While affirming the biblical condemnation of drunkenness, he emphasized that the church supported the act to address the detrimental social impacts of alcoholism within families, such as relationship breakdowns and financial instabilities. In other news, from our own media group, we also have exciting news. A new mobile TV app launched for Northeast India by our channel and backed by Highland Dawn Media, Nagaland. It is a live TV app featuring edutainment, mindset and belief, live online 24/7 channel from Nagaland and Northeast India. In other news, the Nagaland Law and Bible College (NLBC) and the Institute of Biblical Studies (IBS) held a joint graduation ceremony on April 26, 2024, celebrating the accomplishments of the graduating students. The event, which took place at the NLBC campus in Kohima, was attended by faculty members, family, friends, and church leaders, all gathered to honor the hard work and dedication of the graduates. A total of 75 students received their diplomas and degrees in various disciplines, including theology, Christian ministry, and law. Reverend M. Longkumer, the principal of NLBC, congratulated the graduates and reminded them of their responsibilities as Christian professionals to be beacons of light in society. In other news, Indian Christian Women Movement Unit launched in Nagaland. The Indian Christian Women Movement (ICWM) officially launched its Nagaland unit in a significant event held in Dimapur on August 21, 2024. The launch was marked by a gathering of Christian women leaders, activists, and community members from across the state, all united in their commitment to advocating for gender justice and empowering women within the church and society. The inaugural event was graced by Mrs. Anjali Thapa, a renowned Christian activist and one of the founding members of the ICWM at the national level. In her keynote address, Mrs. Thapa highlighted the challenges faced by Christian women in India, particularly in areas of leadership, education, and social justice. She emphasized the importance of solidarity and the collective action in addressing these issues and urged the newly formed Nagaland unit to be a voice for the voiceless, especially in advocating for the rights of marginalized women, the role of women in peace building, and strategies for combating gender-based violence. The Nagaland unit of the ICWM aims to collaborate with the local churches, NGOs, and government agencies to implement programs that will uplift and empower women across the state. Now we have news from Northeast India. A Christian group in Assam, Karbi Anglong district, alleged that the police personnel were entering churches and collecting information, prompting the Assam police to clarify that this is a part of an effort to ensure security of Christian institutions following a slew of threats in February. In a statement, the SP said that these instructions were issued to all superintendents of police after the Assam Catholic Educational Trust wrote to the Director General of Police expressing concern over the safety of Christian institutions and personnel in February. Now for some short international news, Christian World News. With the conflict in Sudan reaching 500 days, Sudan is now facing an unprecedented humanitarian crisis, with the children bearing the brunt of the suffering. According to a new report released by international aid organization World Vision, the crisis for children and families in Sudan reveals 26 million people in Sudan are expected to experience acute food insecurity, hunger and malnutrition as a direct result of the ongoing conflict. This is over half of Sudan's population and a figure comparable to almost the entire population of Australia. 1 million of these people are expected to face life-threatening famine-like conditions between October and December 2024. In other news, churches are being burned down and their congregations forced to close in Nigeria Middle Belt, the halfway house between the mainly Muslim North and the mainly Christian South. Andrew Boyd from Release International reports. Let us take a short video break. We will be back very soon. Welcome back. We are glad to have you join in for this unique Christian news and musician stories from Nagaland and Northeast India. Right now we have our segment on musician stories from Nagaland. For our Christian artist today we have the upcoming gospel band of Kohima, Nagaland called Altars & Co. They are a group of dedicated and talented young men expressing their faith as seen by their name, Altars & Company. Their music too supports their vision, which is where you stand becomes your altar. Let's hear them talking to our media team recorded at our Cornerstone TV Kohima studio.
We believe that each one of us is an altar to just present our lives as a living sacrifice to Him, and no matter where we stand, that becomes a position for us to worship Him. And it's not just the church where we are supposed to worship, neither the fellowship where we're supposed to worship, but maybe we may be at our houses, maybe we may be at our schools, but that place can even become a place of worship. So taking our lives as an altar, we chose to keep that name, and we wanted to include everybody, and so Altars & Community, from that the name came, Altars & Co.
The great thing about the community is that it comprises of different individuals. So even me, I have my own influences, even my brother have his set of influences. So the great thing about how music works is that it comes together, and with that we incorporate in our music as well. So obviously as musicians, we also need to up our game. So we also take inspiration in their visions from the real music world. Maybe if I have to put it in that way, the maybe the chord structures, even inspiration, all of those comes from there. So we all have our different influences, but as a community, it becomes an original product as well when we create the art or the song together. So that's why our music has a blend of even Hindi songs. We have two Hindi songs we have released, and then we also have those kind of alternative pop, those which are set purely in worship form, and some songs which are purely set in the kind of praise form.
तेरी नाम से सिर झुक जाता है, आपके बात से शिक्षा निकलता है। यीशु मसीह तेरा नाम, सबके दिलों में बस तेरा प्यार, भरपूर से दिया हमें अपना जीवन। यीशु मसीह तेरा नाम, चलता रहूंगा तेरी संग। हालेलुया, आपके चरणों पे चलूं, तू ही हमारी दिलों का धड़कन। हालेलुया, आपके चरणों पे चलूं, तू ही हमारी दिलों का धड़कन। यीशु मसीह, यीशु मसीह, यीशु मसीह, यीशु मसीह।
You can watch the full discussion with Altars and Co on our YouTube channel at the link given below. Next, we have some news from Northeast India. The northeastern Indian state of Tripura had been devastated by several floods, with the death toll reaching 33 as of September. The flood affected millions, over 34,100 people seeking shelter in relief camps. Among those affected are also Christians who have endured heavy losses from both floods and landslides. In response to the crisis, various church groups like the Baptist Church Fellowship and the Believers Eastern Church have stepped in to provide aid and support to the flood victims and are working closely with the civil administration to rescue civilians stranded due to the floods. We have some more latest news from Nagaland. The Women Department of the Nagaland Baptist Church Council and BCC hosted a first of its kind Women Pastor Conference from September 11 to 12. Held at the NBCC Convention Center in Kohima, the event was themed Experiencing God Together. The conference featured a distinguished lineup of speakers including Reverend Dr. Zelhiu Keyo, General Secretary of NBCC, Dr. Agukali Rotoka, Lamheng scholar and writer, Reverend Talijung Lalong Kumar, Associate Pastor for Women at Angma Baptist, Dr. Bono Zatsuve, Professor in the Department of Education and Director of Women Studies Center at Nagaland University, Kohima. The conference included a plenary session addressing the topic Women in Ministry, wading through the tide facing challenges and finding God's purpose. Additionally, the event featured a table fellowship, a discussion titled The Third Dimension, in a conversation with our overseas sister-in-law, and a segment called Experiencing Life and People, a real talk with women leaders. Approximately 1,300 delegates attended the conference. The Senior Youth Fellowship of the Chakisam Baptist Church Ministers Hill Kohima, CBCMHK, held a seminar on financial literacy on Monday, September 16. The event, titled A Talk on Financial Wellness, aimed at equipping young adults with knowledge about banking and finance. The session featured Zapuno Chuzo, Assistant Bank Manager at Bank of Baroda, and Vikasa Tingo, Assistant Professor at Kohima College, Commerce Department as resource person. They covered topics such as banking structures, loan procedures, investment strategies, and the stock market. Reverend Dr. Vivo Pisau, Senior Pastor of CBCM HK, offered the opening prayer, encouraging the youth to pursue financial success based on biblical principles. The Dimapur Town Nepali Baptist Church, Duncan, celebrated the Youth Sunday and the 39th Foundation Day of the Women's Ministry on September 15. The event themed Long Way to Go, Philippians 3:13-14, emphasized the importance of perseverance and the dedication in the spiritual journey. The theme resonated strongly with attendees, highlighting the enduring commitment required to follow God's path. A press release stated, organized under the Association of the Gotka Baptist Churches, AGBCN, the celebration saw participation from Gotka Nepali Church across Nagaland, bringing together the youth in a united expression of their faith. The Nagaland Joint Christian Forum and JCF has expressed strong opposition to the Gau Dawaj Sapna Bharat Yatra, a movement aimed at banning cow slaughter in India. The statement issued by NJCF Vice President Reverend Dr. Papino, the forum viewed the Yatra as an attempt to impose foreign religious and cultural practices on the Naga people. Subsequently, the Nagaland Cabinet denied permission for the Gau Dawaj Sapna Bharat Yatra in Kohima, citing public order concerns. In other news, the Nagaland Catholic Youth Movement, NCYM, celebrated its annual Youth Day today on September 8 across various parishes in the Diocese of Kohima, aligning with the theme, "Those who hope in the Lord will run and not be weary," Isaiah 40:31. The event held at St. Xavier Church, Zavame, under St. Ignatius Parish, Raziba, the Holy Eucharist presided over by Reverend Father Kokto Kuren, Director of NCYM, emphasized the virtues of hope, service, humility, and openness to God's healing touch. With that, we have come to the end of our Christian news and musician stories from Nagaland Cornerstone TV based in Kohima. We look forward to joining you soon in the next month. Goodbye for now and have a great day ahead.